Hello, LinkedIn Live, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, and a bunch of other places that I'm streaming. Just want to make a quick check, make sure you can hear me on my microphone, and it does look like you can. Awesome. My name is Frank Lavinia, and I am streaming live. So a couple of interesting things happened in the last couple of weeks. Well, first off, if you listen to the Data Driven podcast, you'll know that I actually spent I spent Thanksgiving week on the beach, and it was fantastic as it sounds. But it was a good time to kind of get away and reflect and really kind of plan out what I'm going to do next year in terms of personal growth and development. For those of you who listen to the show, you know that I do a lot of that, sign up for a lot of courses, get a lot of certifications and stuff like that. But the coolest thing I would say, let's see if I can. A lot of changes have been made in the Restream interface. I'm loving it. I am loving it in terms of what they're doing. So if you're watching this and you're from the Restream company, you guys, gals, whatever, are awesome. I saw some of I attended the, they had a live stream event with Elgato, which was pretty interesting in terms of what they were kind of the partnership they're working on. With that thought, I know the title said talked about Azure Synapse, and let me share. See if I can share my screen. If I can. Here we go. No, that's not it. How's everyone doing out there? Awesome. Hey, Thomas, how's it going? Yeah. Restream is pretty epic in terms of what they're doing and the options that you can do with the screen sharing. Let's see. Move this window up there. And blink. All right. So if you can see this, so I'm on my other computer today. Yeah, Restream's pretty awesome. But if you look at the recursion, if you look at this, there's all sorts of options that you can do in terms of how to let's see, maximize. Oh, there we go. There's that. There's this. Ooh, this is fancy. Let's try this, and then I need to stream more. That's what I need to do. But let me show this. Cool, Thomas. I'm glad you signed up with Restream because it's pretty epic in terms of what they're doing, and there's some interesting stuff that they announced on that live stream, including a lot of integration with Elgato Stream Deck and stuff like that. Trying to pull up a presentation or at least a slide deck. Let's see if this will work. All right. One last tweak and we should be good. There you go. All right. Here we go. I haven't streamed in a while, so I figured it'd be worth streaming again from just because I've been just busy trying to close out a lot of stuff at work for the end of the year. I mean, let's see, get this on pen, find my pen. Talk about this bad boy right here. Synapse went GA. So last week there was an event where they had a data event, and they basically announced that Synapse went general availability, which is awesome because I think it's an interesting product and it's just getting better and better all the time. But another thing they announced was something called Azure Purview. which is essentially, and I love the title, right? Like data governance reimagined. Now, I know that sounds kind of cheesy or whatever, but I think there's something to this. No one gets excited about data governance. It's kind of one of those things you just got to do. But I think by making it part of the catalog, um, every large enterprise needs a data catalog just to kind of just capture their data and catalog the data. But I also think that by making compliance part of that and other types of data masking, right? So there's a lot of other stuff here in terms of this. By having policy, data quality, data sharing, insights as part of it, I think that's brilliant because most organizations, let's just face it, they don't really make the most advantage. They don't make the most of their data, right? I'll just say it, right? For the longest time, data was always seen as a byproduct, right? Or some kind of regulatory headache. But as we've seen, data is the new oil, right? Or data is the new currency, if you prefer. And I think that there's definitely, well, I think there's a lot going on there. And I think there's a lot that smart organizations that haven't already caught on need to catch on to. And I think by making data cataloging, building data cataloging with all of these data quality issues and data sharing and policies, by bringing compliance, to the fore, right? Making it part of the conversation. I think this is brilliant by kind of coming up with it together. So that's kind of what's new in the zoo, if you will. There's also an interesting. Let me pull this up. Kind of where this fits in the big picture. I think there's a lot to this in terms of that this could be where you model and serve the data, right? Your landing zone and kind of all your unstructured type of information. This is an old slide deck because I think this is outdated. That your data lake becomes part of the equation, and your cleaned up data that's ready to be modeled on and served. This is where it lives, right? This is where the gold would live, right? And bronze and silver would live here, right? I think I'm just, as they say at Microsoft, super excited about the launch or the availability of Synapse, and I'm really intrigued with the potential that Azure Purview has. I think there's a lot that can be done with that. So with that, let me tell you what happened to me today. So I do a lot of read a lot of books, listen to a lot of kind of positive thinking type people and stuff like that. Today, I haven't been to the office since March. I have not been inside a Microsoft Office since March. And apparently today was the day. Oh, I just realized I didn't share my screen when I did the presentation. Today's been quite a day. But I'm thankful that you're here with me. This is why I got to do more streams, honestly. Just sometimes you fall out of practice. I was just come back from the beach, had a wonderful time there, and then suddenly I forget all my streaming etiquette and streaming abilities. But I will say that they've added a lot of cool features here. Not going to play with them now, as tempted as I am. But I wanted to kind of just talk about that Azure Synapse. Let's see. Perhaps I can pull up those slides again. There we go. This time I won't do it in presentation mode. So basically, you do your ingestion and preparation with a combination of Data Factory or Databricks. You store the kind of the bronze and the gold inside of here, but then where you actually do your model and your serve, this becomes your gold, right? So if you're not familiar with that term, the notion is that you have Databricks uses this term, and I like it. Microsoft uses these terms: ingest and prep, store, model, and serve. I prefer bronze, silver, gold, because I think it's immediately understandable. So one of the things that you get here is that you have your ingest, right? And bronze is essentially like a landing zone, right? Raw data comes in, that's what it is. Silver it's kind of worked up a bit, it's a little bit improved, but gold is the thing you want to do in order to make sure that the data is ready for business use, whether that's in Power BI, whether it's in some kind of common data model or Dataverse, as they call it now, and ready to serve up and kind of dish out and serve, or feed into other advanced models. This is kind of the structure that I think this makes sense to me, right? I think it's pretty awesome what we're doing here in that space. Synapse is very impressive. I have to say, I'm back before the plague. Back before the plague, I actually attended an internal conference for technologists, and the guy who I think it was actually the same guy here. This guy here, he presented kind of the overall roadmap and plan for Synapse, and I can't share it all because it's all not been announced yet. But wow, I have to say it's quite impressive. So with that, I hope you're having a great day. Ooh, feed into Sentinel. There is an interesting story. Thank you, Jay, for commenting, and thank you for watching. I realize there's a lot more fun things to do on a Thursday afternoon, but I like to have fun here. Anyway, let me put myself maximized here. Thanks for watching, and so feed into Sentinel. That is interesting. I know some things that I'm not sure are public yet, so I have to be very cautious when answering that. But I mean, it's reasonable to assume that that tool could. Synapse is one of those things that can scale to the degree where you can capture that much information and parse it and process it in a meaningful way. I'm very excited about Synapse. I might do a video on that live streamed when I'm not facing a deadline to pick up one of the kids at daycare. But yeah, definitely, there's definitely something there. I have a really brilliant coworker who specializes in Sentinel, and I'd love to have him as a guest on this live stream because he's super smart. He can answer that. He can demonstrate this like nobody's business. I've seen him do it. Yeah, got a lot of smart coworkers actually. One guy did a session yesterday on Power Platform, and it is amazing when you see what's possible with Power Platform, Power Automate, and all that stuff. I think Microsoft will internally refer to it as the year of data, and I think that that's not hyperbole. I think data is going to power a lot of things. Obviously, I have a podcast about data science and AI called Data Driven. Obviously, I'm going to be a bit biased in that regard, but I will say that there's something there. So I'm going to go show you this and be smart this time and actually show the thing. A couple of interesting posts here. A really great video by the folks at let's see, can I get myself minimized? Spotlight, no. The other way around. I wish Restream had like a kind of a playground thing where you're streaming, but you're not really like streaming to the public. Anyway, you can play around with stuff. So really great video by the Microsoft Mechanics. And yes, that is an actual name of a YouTube channel where they kind of dive into all about Azure Synapse Analytics. And now that it's generally available, you'll see a lot more content around that sign. Some interesting stuff that Databricks is pushing out with their videos. They're essentially recordings from Data and AI Summit Europe. Awesome stuff. And here's an interesting, fun project I may take on with the kids in terms of building my own Alexa with Python. I'm waiting for Alexa to talk because she's in the room, and I said her name. So with that, see if there's any new questions in the chat. Not right now. So thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Sorry for all the bloopers. But I'm actually streaming on a slightly different computer today. I actually had to work on this computer because my work computer, that's right, I was talking. I need more Dr. Pepper. Totally disjointed today. Yes. So my computer, apparently one of the certificates that lets me log in and connect to Microsoft company resources like Teams and Outlook, apparently that certificate expired today. About 45 minutes before I was supposed to deliver a presentation. So I kind of did a last minute talk to the help desk. They were very helpful, but they're like, yeah, we can't solve this in right away. So I was like, what are my options? He goes, well, use another computer. So I was actually able to set up this computer to be able to log into those resources and kind of work from this machine, which worked out really well, given I have better lighting on this. This is my normal kind of streaming computer. So worked out really well. I had the webcam on more than I normally would, because from this angle, you can't see the holes in the ceiling. And I think that's a metaphor for kind of Instagram. You only see the highlight reel, not the holes in the ceiling. So with that, I appreciate you being on the show. Thanks, Thomas and Jay, for commenting live and in real time. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Let me pull up my Twitter handle. You can reach me on Twitter. You can find me here on LinkedIn or YouTube. Just comment on the video. Or Periscope or wherever. Okay, so with that,